Once upon a time, in the ancient world, there was a school of thought called Stoicism. The Stoics were wise men who believed in living a life of virtue, control, and acceptance. One of their most powerful ideas was the belief in fate. They thought that everything in life happens for a reason, and that reason is part of a grand design. But why did they believe this? Why did they trust in fate so deeply? To understand this, we must step into their world and see life through their eyes. The Stoics looked at the universe and saw order. They noticed how the stars moved in perfect patterns, how the seasons changed without fail, and how every living thing had its place. To them, this was no accident. The universe was not random. It was governed by a divine force, a kind of intelligent design. They called this force logos, which meant reason or the natural law of the world. The Stoics believed that logos controlled everything, from the smallest leaf falling from a tree to the greatest events in human history. Because of this, they thought that every event in life was fated. Nothing happened by chance. If you met a friend by accident, it was not truly an accident. It was meant to be. If you suffered a loss, it was part of a larger plan. At first, this might sound harsh. Why would anyone believe that suffering is planned? But the Stoics had a deeper reason. They believed that fate was not just about control. It was about meaning. If everything happens for a reason, then every moment in life has purpose. Imagine a ship sailing across the sea. The wind blows, the waves rise and fall, and the ship moves forward. The sailor does not control the wind or the waves, but he can control how he steers the ship. The Stoics saw life the same way. They believed that certain things were beyond human control, like storms, sickness, or even death. These were part of fate. But what they could control was their own mind, their own actions, and their own reactions. This was the key to their philosophy. Accept what you cannot change, and focus on what you can. The Stoics also believed that fate was connected to virtue. A good person, they said, was one who lived in harmony with nature, meaning they accepted fate without complaint. If something bad happened, a Stoic would not cry or rage against the gods. Instead, they would ask, how can I use this to become stronger? How can this teach me wisdom? They saw challenges as tests, opportunities to grow. A man who lost his wealth could learn to value simpler things. A woman who faced betrayal could learn the strength of forgiveness. But why would fate be so important to them? Why not believe in free will, the idea that we make our own choices? The Stoics did believe in free will, but in a special way. They thought that while events were fated, how we respond to them was our choice. A storm might be destined to destroy your house, but whether you despair or rebuild is up to you. In this way, fate and freedom worked together. The universe gave you the circumstances, but you decided what to do with them. Some people feared this idea. They asked, if everything is fated, why should I even try? Why not just sit and wait for life to happen? But the Stoics would say this is a misunderstanding. Fate does not mean laziness. It means acceptance. You must still act, still strive, still do your best. But when things do not go your way, you must not fight against reality. The wise man plants a tree even if he may never sit in its shade, because planting is his duty, not the result. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus was once a slave. He had no control over his chains, but he believed that his mind was free. Later, Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, wrote in his private journal that even a ruler must bow to fate. No matter how powerful a man is, he cannot stop time, prevent death, or force the world to obey his will. The only true power is in mastering oneself. So why did the Stoics believe in fate? Because it gave them peace. When you trust that life has a purpose even in suffering, you stop resisting reality. You stop wasting energy on anger and fear. Instead, you focus on what matters, living with courage, justice, and wisdom. The Stoics did not see fate as a prison. They saw it as a path, a way to walk through life with dignity, no matter what storms may come. And so, the next time you face hardship, remember the Stoics. Ask yourself not, why did this happen to me? But what can I learn from this? See the unseen hand of fate not as an enemy, but as a teacher. For in the end, the universe is not cruel, it is wise. And if we listen, it will guide us, not to an easy life, but to a meaningful one.